channel. So for today's video, I have a long overdue review for you guys. It's been a hot minute since I've done a review on my channel. I know I used to do them more frequently, but sometimes you can get kind of overwhelmed with all the new products that are coming out that you just kind of like want to try them out and like you have your opinion and then that's it. But I got tons of requests to do a review on the Elcie Microsilque Foundation. This is a foundation that's been making its way more mainstream. Tons of Instagram makeup artists, professional makeup artists, and now YouTubers are really starting to talk and chatter about this foundation. I picked this foundation up when I went to EBATES. If you guys have not seen my EBATES haul, I will link that down below for you guys. Tons of you guys really wanted to see a review. Tons of you guys wanted to see my thoughts on this foundation. Is it worth it? And is this foundation living up to the hype that tons of YouTubers and Instagrammers seem to be giving it? I'm testing this foundation out for a couple of weeks now, and I feel like now I have a more concrete review to give to you guys because I don't want you guys to spend your money on something that maybe is not so good, or like I didn't give you as much information and I should have like told you guys about something. So without further ado, let's just jump into the review. If you guys didn't know, Elcie Cosmetics is a cosmetics brand that was created by Makeup by Lilith. She is a professional makeup artist who does not YouTube and like blogging. She's been in the business for quite some time. I want to say that about maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago max, is when this foundation had first come out. I know it just started being talked about more maybe like late last year, this year when Jaclyn Hill started raving about it, and then everybody, you know, just jumped on the bandwagon because Jaclyn Hill said, oh my gosh, you need to check this out. So it's been around for just a little bit of time. It's not like a brand new brand, but it's also not been an established brand for quite some time. Currently, I do think that this foundation is only sold online unless you go to like a Namies or a Nigel's that carries other makeup brands, more indie makeup brands, and then you can get it at like your pro discount if you're a freelance or pro makeup artist. And currently I think that Elcie only has this foundation as their only product. I don't think they've come out with brushes, concealers, or anything like that. It's just solely this foundation. You get the foundation, it comes just like this. It comes in a really nice frosted glass kind of bottle. It does contain 1 fluid ounce, so 30 milliliters of product in this bottle, which I think is pretty standard for most foundations. At the bottom, I do like that it does have a sticker and it has the name of the shade underneath it. And then when you finally open up the product, you do get a pump on it, which I think is already like, for packaging, I think that this foundation is an A+. I love that it does have a pump because it makes it so much easier and it's mess-free when you're using it. I also think it's a little bit more hygienic if you're working on clients as opposed to like having to like dump out the bottle on your hand. Last thing I really like about having a pump is that I feel like you have a little bit more control over the amount of product that you're putting on your hand, because when it's just like an open kind of bottle there, you tend to kind of over pour sometimes, or if your hand slips a little bit, or you know, if you drop it or something like that, it's more likely that you're going to spill and you're going to use a lot more product as opposed to having a pump on it. So the shade that I am in currently is Warm Ivory. This is the foundation that I'm wearing on my face right now, and I've had it on for probably about an hour and a half or so. You have to say that the Microsilque foundation pretty much caters to any skin tone you have. They have so many colors that you can pick from on their website, which I think is great because at least it doesn't appeal to me if it's like, okay, I would really love to try this product, but they don't have it in my shade, so I guess I'm not going to try it. So I love that they have a wide range of colors, especially because tons of people have said that this is a really good foundation if you're freelancing. You don't need to have a wide range of colors when you're working on multiple clients that may have different skin tones. There is perfect shades in between with a mixture of yellow and pink tones. There's some that are just pink tones and there's some that are yellow tones. So I really love the range of this foundation, and I love that it doesn't oxidize on the skin. The color you buy is the color that's going to be for you for the rest of the day when you're wearing the foundation. Right, so moving on to price of this foundation. This foundation retails for $45, and normally high-end foundations tend to be anywhere between $30 to about $50. So you are getting close to that higher range. Not to mention, because you can only get this product online, you do have to pay shipping. The shipping amount is actually $7. So when you add it into this price, you're paying $45 for the foundation, and then you have to pay an extra $7 to get it shipped to you. this foundation ends up retailing $52, which is getting closer to the really high-end and really expensive foundations for about $5 or $8 more, depending on which foundation you get and when you get it. You can get a Givenchy, a Chanel, or a Dior type of foundation. That's just something to keep in mind, that you do have to pay the shipping. So you are getting closer to a more expensive high-end foundation or a really popular high-end foundation from a very high-end brand. So now I'm going to kind of break it down into the pros and cons of this foundation. I do have clips that I will insert either in the middle of this video while I'm talking about it or towards the end, so you guys can see me actually apply the foundation onto my skin. Normally, I know that when you're doing reviews, you're not supposed to do primers or anything like that, just so you can actually see the foundation. But to me personally, I wear a primer every single day, I wear a primer every single time I wear foundation. So to me, it just seemed illogical to try the foundation without using a primer if that's what I normally do. Starting out with the pros of this foundation lasts a really long time. I wore this foundation, I've worn it a couple times, but the longest that I've worn this foundation, I would say, was 10 hours. I wore it from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the foundation stayed on my face and it wore beautifully throughout the day, except if you are extremely oily. I have oily skin. My skin isn't extremely oily to the point where it's a really big problem, to the point where I can't wear luminous foundations. I normally tend to stick with matte foundations because that's my preference and that's what I really like. But this foundation, I wouldn't classify it as a matte foundation. This is more of like a satiny foundation. It's a little bit more matte than like the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Would not classify it as like a luminous foundation either, because like I said, I'm wearing it now and the only highlighted parts that you can see, I guess, are the parts that I actually chose to highlight with an actual highlighter. I would not classify this as a luminous foundation. If anything, maybe it's like a normal foundation because it's not extremely matte, but like I said, it's not a luminous foundation either. Anyway, I have oily skin and I noticed that when I wore this foundation, the only part that did not hold up well with this foundation was my nose right in here, and then a little bit right here where I tend to produce the most oil throughout the day. This area right here, I did notice it, that it started to kind of like break apart, and it wasn't like crusty, but it looked like almost like if you take like a makeup remover wipe and then you just drag, it starts kind of like, you know, slowly like coming undone as if it's like melting off. So like here it was completely gone. It was like smeared and the oil was just like seeping through. The rest of my face, however, did hold up really nicely. Again, I don't know if it's because I used a primer, so that probably prolonged it, but the rest of my face did hold up nicely. It wasn't perfect as if you had just applied your makeup, but it also was not smearing or streaking or looking as oily as the nose area was when I looked into it. If you're more on like the border of oily to extremely oily skin, I don't recommend this foundation just because I'm afraid that it's going to just kind of break apart or smear off throughout the day because the oil is going to seep through regardless of whether you wear primer or not. I feel like this foundation kind of works like a primer would with like powders, like blushes and highlighters, because I noticed that when I wore this foundation, my blush and my highlighter tend to stay on just a little bit longer because, like I said, the foundation wore beautifully and it didn't smear or like drag or fall off, so therefore the highlighter and the blush on top of it did not smear off or fall off throughout the day. Going into coverage, I do think that this is more of just like a straight medium coverage foundation. I had to go in with 5 pumps of this foundation. Now, this foundation doesn't pump out an extreme amount of products. I'd say maybe 4, but still, I had to use 4 to 5 pumps of this foundation to get the coverage I like. I do like more of a full coverage kind of look, so if you're looking for full coverage, this one may not give it to you because, like I said, I did have to go in 5 times just to get coverage on my face, and you will see in the clips that even then it didn't cover everything extremely. I have a little bit of like red spots here, a bit of like a blemish that was coming through, and it didn't even cover it 100% completely because it is a medium and because the finish of it is so smooth, it is very buildable. I don't think I would have been able to go in with 5 pumps of foundation if it was not buildable. It probably would have only held out 1 or twice, and regardless of whether you build this product up, it's still going to wear beautifully on the skin. So I do agree with a lot of people that this would be a foundation that I would recommend for brides, or if you're freelancing and you want something more luxe, high-end, smooth feeling on the skin, this is going to give it to you and your bride. I guess what it sounds like is that yes, this foundation is worth it if you can get it on discount. Like I got mine on discount because I went to IMATS and I didn't have to pay shipping, and they were having a discount on top of that. Had I known I liked it, I would have definitely bought 2 bottles of it because that would have been the better deal. So if you can get this foundation on discount and you're not extremely oily, I do see that this foundation is worth it. Or even the $45 if they're offering like a free shipping or something like that, I do think that this foundation is worth it. It's not going to be your go-to every single day foundation. I mean, it could if you wanted it to be like that, but because of the price, I would not use it as an everyday single foundation. This is more of like a special events foundation. But like I said, if you do want it to be every day, you can certainly can. It wears very nice and it's going to last a long time, so it's not going to let you down, and it does live up to the hype. But that $52 price tag, I just can't get over that. I mean, like, I would definitely pay the $45. I would pay even if it was cheaper for it. Just adding $7 extra that you have to pay just for shipping, I can't justify that, because at the end of the day, it comes out to be $52 because you have to pay the shipping regardless. So if you can get this in store or not pay shipping, yes, it's worth it 100%. Buying it now, or if you live in a place like I live in Minnesota, if you live in a place that does not have namies and you can't get this in person, $52 is a huge amount to pay for a foundation when you can just walk into Sephora and get something from a more established high-end brand. Ragging on Elcie Cosmetics, this is a wonderful foundation, but when it comes down to is it worth the $52 that you're ultimately going to have to pay, I would say no. Is it worth the $45 or cheaper if you get it on discount? Yes, 100% yes. So I guess it just depends to you guys. This foundation is worth it if you're going to IMATS or if you're going to California and you can pick it up there in person. Yes, I would definitely pick it up. It's such a good foundation, but don't pick it up if you are extremely oily, because I just don't think it's going to wear beautifully throughout the day. But if you have to order it, or if you're on a budget, I would say skip this, because $52 you can invest into something that you can get now and something cheaper. Like I said, the Lancome is a really good kind of, not dupe I would say, but it's a really good alternative to this foundation, and that one I want to say is $40. Otherwise, the Too Faced Born This Way is a little bit more luminous. It's just a little bit more luminous than this one, and you can feel it just a little bit more, but it's still a really lightweight foundation and it wears very beautifully throughout the day, and that one I want to say is $39 or $40 as well. I don't know, kind of a confusing ending, kind of like a half yes, half no. Let me know down in the comments below if there was something that I didn't answer for you guys, or if there's something you're still curious on. Let me know if you guys have this foundation or if you've tried it and what your thoughts are. Let me know if you have oily skin and this wore beautifully for you. That is it for my review of this foundation for you guys. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff is going to be left down below for you guys, as well as coupon codes for you to try out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.